be leaking anything major, but either way, Seattle's going to be getting the ball first with Mr. Foley. Going to get an okay return out of it. Nothing good, nothing bad, just okay. All right, and it looks like there's going to be a P clock, so there will be a small delay, very small delay before the actual game starts. Here, did I forget to do something? Cool. Oh, okay, never mind. They're just starting anyways. I thought it said NR, but okay. All right, well, looks like we're just going to go with it. Why not? And King 2 exclusive is going to be the quarterback for Seattle here. He's going to take a lane and run with it. Why not? That is the downside of playing on the inside like that. You're just going to be very vulnerable to a lane. And King 2 exclusive going to end up taking the middle anyways. So it seems that the offensive ends are certainly having some trouble trying to catch King. And now King 2 exclusive with a bit of a lane, not too much though. And just going to throw it out of bounds. That was a very hard one to really complete, so it will be an incomplete anyways. And now King 2 exclusive. On second down, trying to have mind games with this Cleveland defensive end, with these Cleveland defensive ends. And it's going to be caught by Xop. If that's how you pronounce it, I have no idea. But either way, going to be first down and goal for Seattle. Nonetheless. And King 2 exclusive tried to greet and run it himself, but got caught by the short on the left side. Again, and here we go. And here comes the handoff. Not going to do it. Unfortunately, running back is on the weaker side in this game still. A little bit better than the average Roblox football game, but still not much better. Not by much, but either way, King 2 exclusive. Going to try to find a split around the Cleveland defensive ends, and they're doing just that, but unfortunately he lags quite a bit. But thankfully, that lag did end up helping him from getting any yard loss on that play. But either way, King 2 exclusive. On a fourth down here, they have to score. And unfortunately, they do not, and that's going to be turnover on downs. Very good goal line defense from Cleveland. And now here we go, Cleveland with an opportunity to take this lead. And they're going to give it to Limitless on the LOS. And now Emmett. I have not seen much from this Cleveland defense, from this Cleveland team. I don't think I've streamed Seattle either, have I? So these are completely new teams I am not familiar with in Season 3, so I don't really have much to expect from either of these teams, except for maybe a good game for both teams, but we'll see. Oh, it's going to be caught by Coda, thankfully. Coda just barely making the save with his two hands. And Emmett going to give it to Trollage on an LS. Or on an LOS, I mean. Wait, isn't Trollage on another team? I don't know. I'm not going to think out too hard. Because I recall he played on another game, but I'm not sure if that was the case. But either way, going to be a touchdown for Cleveland. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. Because Trollage being there kind of threw me off. But Limitless going to be the one to make the catch there. With the touchdown. Just got the burn completely on the short. And unfortunately, the deep was not there in time to help him. I mean, sometimes there ain't much you can do about that. But thankfully for Seattle, the PAT is blocked, so they can still answer back with a score of their own. But yes. But here we go. King 2 exclusive. going to try and roll around, seeing what he can find. Hopefully this drive ends up being better for them. It looks like it's going to be a toss. Thankfully, X-Up is able to catch the pass there. That was thankfully a very fortunate catch there for Seattle that went in their favor. And King 2 exclusive going to take the run, but unfortunately he does fumble. But thankfully, that fumble ended up getting a couple extra yards than they should have, thanks to that fumble recovery from Seattle. Very quick thinking from them to be able to save their drive. That would have been very unlucky though if that ended up being a turnover, especially in a close game like this so far. But King 2 exclusive trying to run around, unfortunately greeted and held the ball for too long in this Cleveland defensive end, able to make a stop on a crucial second down. And now it is a 3rd and 38. Cleveland needs to make a stop here if they want to force a punt for Seattle. But as for Seattle, they don't need to go for a first down here. They can just get close to the first to make it manageable. But do they have enough? No, they do not. But they will be able to make a field goal if they can make it a good one. Unfortunately, it is blocked. Cleveland just being very stingy on defense as of these past couple drives, especially near the goal line. And Limitless going to get on the LS on the right side. I have been very impressed so far with this Cleveland team. Seattle, I think there's a bit to work with. But so far, Seattle, it hasn't been too bad either. Just maybe could be a little bit better on offense, but so far it's looking kind of promising. But either way, Dino gonna get it on the LS. Only going to get about a gain of 11. They are definitely being annoying with these LS passes. And is going to try a toss down the field, but was completely covered by Sincere. I mean, that was a very questionable throw from Emmett. That was definitely into double coverage. I mean, that was just a very difficult one to catch for Cleveland there. So yeah, the very questionable throw, but I will have to say, very good job by the Seattle defense to capitalize on a big mistake. And speaking of big mistakes, King 2 exclusive just gonna run out of bounds. Held on the ball for too long once again. But either way, King 2 exclusive has a bit of a lane on the right side to at least buy a bit more time, and he's going to just chuck it down the field. That might be a bit short, and it will be. That's going to be intercepted by Wee Wee. If he's very convenient if he's French, but either way. LOS spam of doom. Well, welcome to the meta of FL. Welcome to the meta of Football Legends. I do kind of miss that. I do wish that the meta was like a lot more diverse, because it feels like you're just kind of I mean, outside of the score and the players, like it feels like you're watching the same game like over and over and over again. Like I know I try to like make it sound like it's really cool, but like I'm just being like really honest with myself. But it's like once you kind of like get familiar with like the meta, it's really not. It's very, very stagnant. Like you think you're like new and you're like, oh, this is so fun. And then you just kind of learn like, oh, it's just, you just run the same strategy over and over and over again. But either way, 4th and 2. And it's unfortunately a turnover on downs. Cleveland making a very big offensive error, and this gives Seattle an opportunity to hopefully score here, and they have really good field position to do so. Not very much to go for, but they have been a bit shaky on offense as of late. But Mr. Foley going to get on the LS, spun move backwards for whatever reason. That probably was a misclick or a misinput, but thankfully able to get enough time for a gain of 8. And now with the final play of the first quarter, let us see what King 2 exclusive can do. The Cleveland defense ends were definitely gaining on him, but thankfully King 2 exclusive is able to get the pass. However, the pass was incomplete. Just a tad bit overthrown. I'm liking King 2 exclusive's chances so far this game. They have looked so far very solid, but oh, that was nearly a that was a massive error from King 2 exclusive, tossing right or passing it right to a Cleveland defender, but thankfully that pop ended up bailing out his mistake. But that will be a 4th and 6, and can Seattle make the catch? No! Exop not able to get his feet in bounds. And just like that, the offensive struggles of Seattle continues. But it does not seem like Cleveland is having a much better time on offense as of yet. How he does in a QE for both teams. I'm not. If an M is on a team, he can't. About that, apparently there's a new rule that is implemented in season 3. If they're on a team already, they can't walk on. You have to be a free agent. Yeah, so you can't just hop around teams. That's why I got like, well, now I know you're trolling, but what do you mean why they do that? That's a thing in every league. Well, maybe like 99.9% of leagues. Like even like outside of Football Legends. Not really. I mean, it doesn't really change much. Honestly, it's probably better because it makes like things even more confusing. One walk on every 3 weeks. I don't know if that rule has really been enforced all that much, if I'm being honest. If I'm gonna be, I'm just being blunt here. Maybe it is. I don't really know. Half the time I can't even tell who's the walk on. But either way, not really related to the subject of the game. But Limitless gonna get the LS pass for about 8 to 7 yards. And it's gonna be another pass on the LS to Wee Wee. It looks like Cleveland is going to be opening up with these annoying LS passes so far this game. And Emmett going to take it around the middle for 8 yards. Either way, Emmett trying to find a split at the middle. Couldn't find anyone. Tried to find the check down on the left side, but was not able to jump for it in time. Because it seemed that he was expecting a chest pass. And now on a 3rd and 6, this could be very huge. But unfortunately, Seattle, jumping into 7-man coverage, just couldn't find the fold in time to Keo. And just like that, that is another 1st down for Cleveland. And here we go. A toss down the field, finally a long pass this game. Unfortunately, not going to find anything, just tragically overthrown. But thankfully, definitely favoring Seattle here. And it's going to be a screen to Limitless. Not going to find too much ground to gain there, but thankfully enough to get about 8 yards. And now Emmett trying to find a streak once again. Going to be intercepted by Wicked Cookies. Oh my goodness, that was a crazy dive there. That is definitely not one I've seen. Maybe a bit of a boost. Yeah, I got boosted a little bit there. Though I don't think they're exactly going to like the field position Seattle is in, that's for sure. Because, yeah, being caught at your own 1-yard line, certainly not ideal, but maybe King can find some space here if someone can get open. Thankfully, someone does. Sincere, able to find a able to find a completed pass on the seam. And now, Seattle is now looking to find some momentum here. Gonna try to fire a streak, but it's going to be overthrown. And so far, I do like how this game is being pretty competitive so far, even though not much is really happening in terms of scoring. But honestly, we kind of need a defensive game every now and then, you know. Seattle, the wide receiver on the deep end couldn't jump, but I don't know if that would have mattered even if he did jump. But either way, King 2 exclusive, going to take it and run himself, make this a third and manageable, and it will be a 4th and 1. 4th inches, correction. It might as well be 4th and 1, though. But either way, King 2 exclusive might take the run himself if he wishes to. Not going to take it. Instead, just going to overthrow the streak. A very unfortunate overthrow there. He tried to greed for it. Especially if he made that throw, that would have been a touchdown. Unfortunately, just couldn't get it. And it's going to be limitless on the streak on the right side. Going to get a first down. And just like that, we have a 1st and goal almost immediately into the game. And Trollage going to get about 10 yards on that play. And now on a 2nd and goal at the 2-yard line. 2 yards away from the goal. Can Cleveland find a way to do it? Seems that there's something on the right side. It's going to be a screen to Keogh. Both defenders completely miss him. And Keogh with a very easy touchdown. Thanks to a huge defensive blunder from Seattle. Seattle had the read and everything, and both of them just completely missed. Unfortunately, they just could not execute on that play. And so far, Cleveland has been getting the better of Seattle, but nonetheless, this is definitely a very close game. Do not mistake it as such at the moment. But right now, Seattle needs to get something going on this offense if they want to win. And here we go, King 2 exclusive. Looking around, he has an open lane. He can take the run if he wishes to. Okay, but looks like the run is going to be kept in check and just going to overthrow him on the fold on the right side. That was a very... he was wide open, just unfortunately just overthrew it there. Here we go. King 2 exclusive. Looking around. Gonna try to find the fold around the middle. Unfortunately, overthrew it barely once again. Maybe you could have been on the wide receiver there, but either way, on a 3rd and 15. King trying to look around. He has an open lane. He can take the run if he wishes to. And is going to try to find a pass up the middle, and he's going to find it. AJ accused. Going to get the catch there for a 70-yard gain. And here we go. This is exactly what Seattle needed. Tried to run up the middle. Couldn't find anything there. Cleveland able to get to it in time. And here we go. King 2 exclusive. Looking around. Could he find something? He's going to get caught in the fumble. 2 fumbles. Huh? Excuse me? That is probably the rarest thing I've seen. 2 fumbles back to back. And both were Seattle, by the way. There wasn't a single player who, there was not, no Cleveland player. Oh my God. 3 fumbles. 3 fumbles in a row. Back to back to back. 3 fumbles in 2 plays. That is insane. But either way, Cleveland is definitely in very, very deep waters. But thankfully, Keogh able to find it thanks to a stacking play. I feel like that's illegal low-key, but maybe not. I don't know. Well, it's typically an illegal move. Is that legal? I don't know. It probably is. I don't know. I haven't read the rules full out. Either way, Emmett Trying to find a streak down the middle. Is he going to get it? Yes, he will. Limitless. Going to get a 52-yard gain on that play. Yeah, is stacking illegal? Oh, legal formation? Oh. Oh, so stacking is legal formation. Okay. Wow. Well, it seems that Cleveland got bailed there if stacking was illegal. But either way, Emmett going to try to find something here. Was nearly wide open there on that streak on the left side. Thankfully for Seattle, that was a bit misplaced on the throw. But either way, on a 4th and 6, Cleveland needs to find someone here to convert. And it's going to be intercepted by King 2 exclusive. Very huge play on defense for Seattle. And just like that, that gives an opportunity for Seattle to hopefully toss it up. And maybe prevent Cleveland from going from a double dipping score. I mean, if you're Seattle, you can probably run a play or two before tossing it. You don't have to toss it immediately if you don't want to. But it looks like they will anyways. Can any player get to it in time on Seattle? No. Oh man, that is very unlucky. X-Op was the one to catch it, so that would have been a touchdown if not for that pop. And just like that, Seattle has scored absolutely nothing in this first half. I mean, again, just the offensive struggles so far for Seattle. I mean, I will say though that last 2 drives were definitely very unlucky on their end. But still, a no score is a no score. And just like that, Cleveland now has the ball right back since they were on defense the first drive of the first half. And now Emmett rolling right. Thankfully, Limitless going to get a catch there. I mean, that was just a very beautiful throw from Emmett. Definitely could have not been placed much better than that. But either way, Emmett looking for a streak on the right side. Not going to get it, just a tad bit overthrown there. It seems that Emmett really likes targeting Limitless on those streaks. And for good reason, he's definitely done a very good job with those. Dino going to get 15 yards on that LS. Or on that LOS pass. Thankfully going to get it. And here we go. Another streak on the right side. Just barely overthrown. I mean, that was in very good coverage, though. For Seattle, it seems that Emmett is getting very comfortable running those. And speaking of running, Emmett going to run it himself, but unfortunately gets hit sticked. Thankfully, a Cleveland receiver was able to get on it in time before Seattle could recover it. That would have been very bad for Cleveland. But either way, Coda gonna get 8 yards on that play, gets hit sticked near immediately, and now it's a 4th and 1. This could be a very huge drive once again for Seattle here if they can get it. And Wee Wee is gonna get barely enough yards for a 2-yard gain and get the first down. And now this is the final 4 downs of the drive. The Trollage going to get about a gain of 4 on that play. And Keo was trying to read the screen again. Thankfully, Seattle was able to get yard loss on that play this time. Seattle defense did not miss their assignment there. But let's see what will happen. And a massive miscommunication from the Seattle defense that ended up covering number 3 on Cleveland, and that ended up leaving Wee Wee wide open there. Yeah, 2 people covered the slot. That was just a massive miscommunication there from Seattle, but either way, touchdown going to be to Cleveland. I mean, so far, things are looking very solid for Cleveland so far this game. And, well, Sincere is just going to Put it in the end zone for a touchback on this kickoff. Here we go. Kings exclusive, gonna try to run it, take whatever advantage he can that this Cleveland defense can give him. And it looks like Cleveland's going to be running 7 people into coverage with 1 defensive end. And it's going to be an LS to Mr. Foley, going to get covered near immediately after the catch. And here we go on a 3rd and 6. King 2 exclusive needs to find something here. And here we go. Here comes a deep pass. Is it going to be, unfortunately, going to be intercepted by Wee Wee? I don't know if the boost helped him get that interception, but either way, turnover for Cleveland. And again, Seattle is just having a hard time scoring so far this game. But either way, Emmett going to be looking for Dino on the out route, and thankfully is going to get about 17 yards on that gain. And here we go, Emmett. Gonna have an open lane on the left side. Is he gonna take the run? Yes, he will. And he's only gonna get about 8 yards on that play. Again, very, very good stuff from Cleveland so far. And here we go, another streak. Going to be, unfortunately, overthrown. And now it's a 3rd and 6. Again, Seattle needs this stop right now more than anything. Unfortunately, not going to get it. Dino going to get a catch on the out route once again for a 1st down. So far, Emmett has just been all over this Seattle defense in one way or another. I mean, I wouldn't say all over. I mean, they've only scored like 19 in, almost like 2.5 quarters. But so I take that with what you will. I'd say the defense is more overwhelming right now than the offense. But either way, the Trollage going to get it on the LS here. And Emmett going to give it to Keo from the screen, it looks like. Not going to get very much out of it, though. It seems that they're trying to run that screen quite a bit, but not really going to get much out of it, though. And it looks like it's going to be a limit to limitless. That was very tight coverage from Seattle. Again, a very difficult pass to make. So no doubt that will be incomplete most of the time. Here we go. It's going to be a pass to Coda. It looked like Wee Wee was also there as well, so it ended up being a very favorable catch for them. And now with 2 people on the left side, this could be a very golden opportunity for a touchdown here. Oh, I think was looking for Wee Wee there. Fortunately, just misplaced the ball there. Seems that Seattle was scrambling, so definitely a missed opportunity to score. And for some reason, Seattle's not rushing anybody. That doesn't really stop Emmett from throwing to nobody. I feel like I was more closer to a Seattle defender, if anything, so thankfully that was not picked off. Oh, and 3 incompletes in a row, and just like that, Cleveland is forced to kick a field goal. Again, very big defensive drive for Seattle. Able to stop them for just 3 points. But they're going to have to do a lot more than that if they want any chance to catch up. I mean, I'm more concerned about this offense than the defense, if anything, for Seattle. But here we go. Oh, it's looking for Mr. Foley on the LOS, but thankfully going to get read completely by this Cleveland defense. This is pretty much just like the Cleveland Browns defense in like real life. they're okay-ish on offense, but like they're really good at defense. This feels like a representation of them this game so far. But either way, SR Mr. Foley going to get it on the left fold. And here we go, King 2 exclusive. Going to get a lane here for about 8 yards. Again, Seattle is definitely looking around, seeing what he can find. And here we go, finally a touchdown. 26, 9-5-3, going to be the one to make the touchdown. Finally, Seattle. Can't have two in the hashes. You can have two in the hashes actually, if it's a tight end. If one of them is a tight end, you can have two in the hashes. Yeah, you can have more than one because a tight end overrides it. If you're a tight end, you can be in between the hashes and it not be a legal formation. They don't count in that illegal formation thing. But either way, it's a bit complicated, but basically tight ends can be in between the hashes. O-line and running back cannot. Or more or less O-line specifically. Not even a receiver is safe from that. So it has to be any one player. But either way, gonna be intercepted by Seattle. Sorry, I've been like typing a little bit. Thankfully, Sincere. But either way, King 2 exclusive. I might have to look at the stream later to see if there was an illegal formation. I'll look later after the stream. We'll see if it matters. But for now, King 2 exclusive. I don't know how that throw went. It kind of went through. I mean, I think it went like slightly above him, actually. It might have went through him, but I'm not entirely sure. But either way, King 2 exclusive, going to take the run. Going to get about 5 yards. Thankfully able to do so. And now King 2 exclusive going to run up the middle. Thankfully gets a first down there. And here we go. Seattle is now looking to make a comeback here. Early in the fourth quarter. Better late than never, I guess. But either way, let's see if they can get the job done. King 2 exclusive going to be backed up a little bit, but thankfully the offensive line of Seattle is able to give him a bit more time. And oh my goodness. That is not the quarterback's fault. That is not the quarterback's fault. I don't care what anyone says. That is completely on the wide receiver. I don't know how you miss that open of a pass. Oh, dude. That is very fortunate for Cleveland, but man, you cannot mess those kind of passes up, man. That was basically free. Oh, speaking of free, that was a fumble. Thankfully, King 2 exclusive. Trying to find some space here. Is going to end up finding a way to get around the defensive ends for the moment, but unfortunately did get sacked and fumbled. I mean, thankfully, but King 2 exclusive is just going to throw it right to the Cleveland defender. A pretty unfortunate pass there. And here we go. Cleveland nearly getting a pick six, but thankfully, someone on Seattle was able to stop them in time. But either way, Keo gonna get on the screen. Not gonna get anything on that play. And here we go. I mean, and here we go. And keep in mind, I also have to play kind of the game state too. There's about 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I mean, you don't really need to score here. I think you just need to play keep away. Like, not like milking, because I'm not saying they should milk because it's kind of illegal if they do that, but like honestly, like you don't really have to score at all. Like you could just take your time. Like put Seattle on the clock and just just force them to make passes they don't want to make. Or else they waste a bunch of time. But either way, gonna try a deep shot either anyways, not Cleveland not caring about anything at all. I mean, right now, I think Cleveland should just be playing keep away. If I was Emmett here, I wouldn't really try to score super fast. I just grind down the clock as much as you can without trying to milk. And here we go, Emmett. Oh, and Emmett just going to take it off and run himself. Not going to get the first down, but thankfully will make it a fourth and manageable. And it looks like they are going to go for it on a 4th and 1. This could be a very risky play. And just like that, that is an easy catch for Wee Wee. And just like that, that is a touchdown for Cleveland, extending their lead even more. However, you can't milk until 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Well, I didn't say milking. Like, I wasn't saying milking. I'm just saying, like, they can take their time, you know? Like, they don't have to score immediately. Either way, kick to exclusive. I mean, you're not really going to have much of a choice here. Maybe just try to toss it up a couple times and pray you get some onside kicks in your favor. And oh, that's going to be intentional grounding. Just couldn't throw it to anyone. Yeah, that's intentional grounding right there. That's going to be called. Yeah, that's intentional grounding straight up. Oh, is that a safety? Would that be a safety, or would that just be like -5 yards? I don't really know how the intentional grounding rules work. But either way, going to be incomplete. And that is going to have Seattle go for it. Why not? This is make or break for them. Here we go. Will Seattle do it here? Can Seattle make a first down? And he's got a wide open man up the middle, I think. Is he going to get it? Yes, he will. Sincere, able to get a 68-yard gain. And just like that, Seattle could score here if the throw is precise enough, but not this play, though. King 2 exclusive going to get a sack for a couple yards. And now King 2 exclusive going to get sacked again. Played a little bit too close to this Cleveland defensive end. To the Cleveland defensive ends, I mean. Sorry, I meant to say that plurally. But either way, King 2 exclusive going to get sacked again from Cleveland. Oh my goodness, dude. This Cleveland defensive ends are certainly locking in right now this game. I mean, 3 sacks in a row, and Seattle, not much of a choice other than just tossing it. And tossing it they will. Will they get it, though? Yes, they will. 26-9-53. is going to get a touchdown there. That is the second touchdown of the game. I mean, again, very good play there from Seattle. I cannot criticize that. But either way, I don't know if it's too little too late, unless they can get some very lucky onside kicks going their way. I mean, again, with 1 minute left, it is possible they can do that. But again, it's going to need a lot. And thankfully, the 2-point conversion is good. And by Exop on the catch. But let's see if they can still keep going. They just need 2 onside kicks. If they can get both 2-point conversions, and they do recover the first one, King 2 exclusive is going to end up getting it. So that is 1 onside kick down. And now what they need to do is score this touchdown and get the 2-point conversion. And then they need to get another one, I believe, to hopefully take the lead. And now King 2 exclusive. Going to be backed up quite a bit here. Going to try a 2-on-1 toss here. Going to get the catch, but Miguel couldn't quite get his feet in bounds. But thankfully, there is still plenty of time left for Seattle. So again, not a huge deal here. And here we go. Going to try another throw. Just a tad bit overthrown. But here we go. Clock is definitely ticking. They do have quite a bit of time, though. Again, 43 seconds. That's a lot of time to score twice. If they can do it fast enough. And here we go. It's going to be a 4-on-2 toss. Thankfully, able to get it. 26,953 is having the game of his life for Seattle right now. What in the world? I mean, it was a 4v2, though. I don't know if that was JP, but either way, I don't really know what's going on. I don't know how 26,953 is getting all these tosses, but nonetheless, let's see if Seattle can get this 2-point conversion. It would be very huge if they did, and they will. And just like that, this is a 7-point game, ladies and gentlemen. And now all Seattle needs is this onside kick. Can they get it? And they do! Wicked Cookies getting the second onside kick, and now all that needs to happen is ensure that they score, and they can potentially get the 2-point conversion to take the lead. Oh my goodness, Seattle might actually do it. Unless Cleveland can do something about it. Here we go. Can they do it? That's intentional grounding. You just made them closer. What? There we go. But either way, looks like it's going to be a deep pass. Unfortunately, just going to be overthrown tragically. And now you have about maybe 1 to 2 plays to make a play here for a touchdown. And here we go. Where is he going to throw it to? He's going to try to pass it middle, but I don't think anyone's there. Unfortunately, the trollage is, though. And just like that, this is game over. Cleveland denying a comeback. I mean, again, I will say Seattle did have a pretty good comeback run, but thankfully, the trollage is going to single-handedly end that with a pass right to him. And really, it doesn't really matter what Cleveland does here. It doesn't matter if they don't even need to score. They can just run out the clock and boom. Game is over. Cleveland has won. Oh, and here's the stats, I guess, if anyone wants to see them. Because you know someone's going to be asking for them. Yep, they're all on stream, by the way. All on stream. And there you go. No doubt, this was a very exciting game. That ended up actually being pretty good. Yeah. I mean, hey, it was competitive at the end of the day. It was very competitive. I know both teams were definitely making some very massive offensive errors, but nonetheless, congrats on the win for Cleveland. And I think, are they 1-0? Or what are they right now? 1-1? Okay, so that makes them 2-1, and Seattle's going to go to 1-2. Yeah, very huge play there. I really liked it. I really liked it. But nonetheless, though, I don't really know. Is there anything we can say? The QB for Seattle definitely made a blunder, but nonetheless, Cleveland going to get the win there. Again, at the end of the day, it is week 3. I think both teams will be fine as long as they can get some wins going forward. It definitely won't be very easy for them, though. But either way, let's see what will happen here. So far, Miami and Houston are both in the lead in their own conferences. They're both 2-0 at the moment. So Cleveland is going to be a bit of a tier behind them at the moment, being 2-1. It depends on if Houston can beat Miami. Ooh, Miami's also a really good team, though. Both 2-0 teams are going to be facing off against each other. That's going to be interesting to see. Cincinnati and Green Bay is also going to be a pretty interesting game. We'll see how it goes because this could be a thing for both teams to be in, if depending on if they're going to be in the conference. Las Vegas and Denver are kind of hanging in there though. So yeah, a lot of implications. A lot of implications for both for a lot of teams right now. Kind of in this weird area where anything can really happen. But either way, that will be enough from me this stream. Thank you guys for watching though, and hold on, let me stretch this. Thank you guys for watching though, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.